Hello everybody, Beaton here, and welcome back to another past paper practice video in which we'll be looking at some multiple choice type questions, some CSEC multiple choice type questions. So let's get straight into the question. So the first question says, the largest prime number that is less than 100 is. So first of all, what do we mean by prime numbers? Now prime numbers are numbers that have only two factors, 1 and itself. For example, 2 is a prime number because the factors of 2 would be 1 and 2. 3 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number, and so on. So from these options here, they want the largest prime number. So let's start off with the first one, which is 91. So many may get carried away and think that, oh, 91 looks like a prime number. But let's think about the factors of 91. So we see, first of all, one factor of 91 is 1. And also we see 91 has a factor of 7. Because 91 divided by 7 is 13. So we see 13 is a factor. So already 91 is not a prime number because we already have more than 2 factors. So now let's look at the number 93. So 93 has factors 1. And 93 also has a factor 3. So 93 divided by 3 would be 31. So 31 is a factor as well. So we see 93 is already not a prime number because we have more than 2 factors for 93. Now let's look at 99. So 99 now, off the top of my head, I know 1 is a factor. I also know 9 is a factor. I also know 11 is a factor. So we already see 99 is not a prime number. So by virtue of elimination, we see the answer here is C. And these are the kind of approach you want to do for multiple choice questions. You want to do elimination. Eliminate the obvious answers that are not correct, and then you narrow it down to one answer. So let's move on to the next question. So the next question says, in the Venn diagram above, the shaded area represents. So we see everything is shaded except P. So we see the shaded area would be everything outside of P. How do we represent in terms of set something that is outside of a set? So we know complement. So we see everything is outside of P, so the answer here would be P complement because everything outside of P is shaded. So the next question says, in the Venn diagram, the number of elements in set X is 5, the number of elements in set Y is 9, and the number of elements in X union Y is 10. They want the number of elements in X intersect Y. So we see a simple formula that we use to find for intersection. So the union will be the subject of the formula. So we can say the number of elements in the union, which is 10, is equal to the number of elements in the first set, in this case which is 5, plus the number of elements in the other set, which is Y, in this case it's 9, minus the intersection. So we'll call the intersection, we'll call it, well, let's say the number of elements in X intersect Y. So all we need to do now is solve this question. So 5 plus 9 would be 14. So we see 10 is equal to 14 minus, this is kind of difficult, right? Let me just call this A. So 14 minus A. I'm just writing A because it's too much to, it's too lengthy to write the number of elements in X intersect Y. I'll just call it A. So we see we're solving for A, which will give us a number of elements in the intersection. So we see this 14 here, it's adding. So when we take it over, it will subtract. So we'll have 10 subtract 14 is equal to minus A. So 10 subtract 40 will give you negative 4 is equal to negative A. So we see these two negatives will cancel out. So A is equal to 4. And we know A represents the number of elements in X intersect Y is equal to 4. So this answer here is A. So by coincidence, it's A. So the next question says, the first 3 common multiples of 3, 4, and 6 are. So the first 3 common multiples of 3, 4, and 6. So we have 3, 4, and 6. So the multiples of 3 would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, etc. The multiples of 4 would be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. The multiples of 6 would be 6, 12, 18, 24. So they want to force 3 common multiples. So let's see which one is the first one in common. So we see 8, we see 9, we see 12. So we see all of them have 12. So 12, we start off with 12. And of course, you see the only option here with 12 as an option in the answer is simply D. So the answer by virtue of common sense would be D. So the next question says, by the distributive law, 49 multiplied by 17 plus 49 multiplied by 3 is equal to, so we see 49 multiplied by 17 plus 49 multiplied by 3. So by virtue of the distributive law, we know if we do it in reverse, this 49 will be outside the bracket. So this will be 49 multiplied by 17 plus this 3. And if we distribute, we'll end up with what we have at the top here. So this will be the same as 49 multiplied by 17 plus 3 is 20. So this is the same as 49 multiplied by 20. So the answer here is simply D. And the last one says, the value of the digit 5 in the number 537 is, so we have the number 537, and we want the value of the digit 5. So by simply calling the number 500, we see the value of the digit 5 is 500, which is C. So with that, this has brought me to the end of this video, and I'll see you in the next video in which I'll be looking at some more multiple choice type questions. Until then, keep practicing and take care.